First time we played Jet Set Radio Future was over at TGS, the last one that passed, and we were pretty impressed with what we saw. Fortunately, Sega recently sent us out a playable version that we actually have here in offices, and we've been messing around with it quite a bit. When the game was originally announced, a lot of people were speculating that it would be just like a direct port of the Dreamcast version, you know, one with a bunch of shiny new additions, graphical upgrades, and all that. But in reality, it's something entirely new. The game itself has been changed pretty significantly, and there is a pretty big graphical upgrade. The game looks a lot better, runs a lot smoother for the most part. There's a bit of slowdown, which will hopefully be ironed out. In all, it's just basically an all-new package. The gameplay has changed quite a little bit since the last one. If you remember when you would have to paint graffiti in the first one, you actually had to input all these crazy controller motions. This time around, that's not the case. You simply pass by a spot on the wall that you have to paint, hold down the R button, and the character will automatically just like go out there and throw it up. The boost mechanic has changed significantly as well. Before, you were able to do it periodically, and it wouldn't cost you anything, but it also wasn't as effective. This time around, it costs you 10 cans of paint to actually enact a boost. But it's a lot more, it gives you much more of a boost, you know, makes you basically haul tail for quite a while, and there's a really cool graphical effect that accompanies it, which you can no doubt see on screen. If you played the first one, the setting and the characters will be pretty familiar to you. A lot of the old blowhards from the first one are back, and they're looking a little changed. Their designs have been like tweaked a little bit, but they still look just as cool. Professor K, you're sort of your confidant who gives you all the secret info. He's back too, and you know he's aged a little bit. His hair's kind of graying, and it's maybe not as off the wall, but he still has the same kind of attitude. One of the biggest changes as far as like the levels and the gameplay goes is the fact that there are seldom any cops within the actual environments when you're out there doing your thing. For the most part, you're free to just roam around the world and spray everything at your leisure. There's never a time limit either, unless you're directly racing against another gang to accomplish something. So you could pretty much go through the world, go through the environment at your own leisure, finding hidden objects, you know, getting to those hard to find spots so that you could throw whatever up. A lot of people really got into the music of the first one, and you know, the good news is that the same composer's back, but accompanying him are a whole bunch of other artists, which, you know, it's kind of a mixed blessing. The original's tracks was sort of like segue into each other pretty seamlessly. You know, it's really seen as if it were one long composition as opposed to a bunch of different tracks. This time around, there's a bunch of licensed artists. Biss from Glasgow is in there. Chiba Model's in there too, you know, just to give you a couple of examples. And you know, while the music is really cool, there's not a lot of beat matching going on, so there is like tangible radio static in between each track shifting, as opposed to before where, you know, one composer just sort of consciously composed everything to sort of fit with one another. So yeah, you'll likely get into the music. It's pretty cool, and the fact that you can unlock it by finding these golden tapes is kind of cool as well. It's not really the seamless package that the first one was. So yeah, we're pretty excited about this game. It's looking really rad. As we said before, there's a little bit of slowdown in some of the areas, and you know, it does bring things to a crawl many a time. But hopefully, you know, there's a little bit of time for Smilebit to optimize it. And, you know, we sure hope that happens.